Wise rabbis, what is the cause of your worries?
This sign, written in the sand in front of the synagogue.
The word faith?
You read Hebrew?
Yes. Why does this word disturb you so?
The word itself is magnificent, but it is the intention of he who wrote it that worries us. Our community is unfortunately the target of much abuse from Muslims.
And we're afraid we may soon see a much more disagreeable word than this if we let it continue.
Well, rub it out.
We cannot do that. That is why we believe this is some terrible joke, for today is the Sabbath.
Sabbath?
The Sabbath is the last day of the week when we Jews must stop all domestic activities to devote our attention to praising our...
We cannot therefore brush the floors or do any sort of labour.
I would be glad to do this for you.
Thank you, my young friend, but while our customs may seem strange to you, we do not follow laws only to incite non-believers to break them on our behalf. God must brush this earth away with his breath, but it is not good to ask favours of the Almighty for such futile...
Good day, friend. Have you been following the events that are troubling your community?
The sign on the ground? If it were up to me, it would have been scrubbed away a long time ago. The Muslims aggravate us so much, we can't let them disturb us on the Sabbath too.
Do the Muslims make you suffer so much in Jerusalem?
Oh, that's a difficult question. Some see all dhimmis as victims to be attacked as they wish. But the governor is a fair man. He has made several judgments in our favour in matters that have set us against the Muslims. He is also very careful in ensuring that taxation is fair and that the collectors do not exploit us. No, the problem comes mainly from certain cruel and frustrating...
What if we got rid of this sign?
Do you know how? I can only help you with my advice.
The rabbi wants God to blow on the sand to erase the sign.
The wind is blowing hard today, but up above the rooftops.
And what if we used the wind?
You can command the winds, stranger.
Could you lend me some arches from your casks?
If you want, but...
I also need the canvas of your canopy.
What are you going to do?
I cannot command the winds, but I can perhaps trap them.
I don't understand at all, but try. Take whatever you need.
It seems God has answered your prayers.
I shall not comment on the incredible pretension of your words, but I thank God once more for having inspired one of his sons.
How can we thank you?
Have you heard of a preacher who drew a little too much attention to himself and was arrested by the governor's orders?
Heard of him? We heard too much of him. He was a moralizer, criticizing our most holy customs.
I have heard that a relic was dividing the millets.
You speak of Abraham's dagger. We do not accept the idea that the father of the Hebrews was thus taken hostage by the Muslims.
Is Abraham not the father of all believers?
He was the father of Isaac, grandfather of Jacob, great-grandfather of Joseph, one of whose descendants was the father of Moses. All that we know. but that he was the father of the servants of Muhammad. Who says so? The servants of Muhammad? No, any relic of Abraham's belongs to the chosen people who alone were guided by his wisdom, to us and no one else.
Why do you say the Hebrews are the chosen people?
It was the alliance between God and the Hebrews on their departure from Egypt that made us a people of priests, destined to carry the message of the one God to all nations. It is a privilege that lays many duties upon us and few rights. That is what we cannot forget, on pain of failing.
Why did the Hebrew people settle in Egypt?
It was not by their own will. In fact, it was quite the contrary. 13 centuries before the Christians' Messiah, Palestine was the theatre for a long and bloody war between the Egyptians and the Hittites. When the enemies eventually signed a peace treaty, the territory where the Hebrews lived was handed over to Egypt, who enslaved our ancestors. But Moses assembled our people and freed them from slavery by bringing them here, to the Promised Land, the land of Canaan. That is as it is.
Will you allow me to enter to admire your synagogue?
It would be a great pleasure, young man. Follow me. You are entering what is probably the oldest synagogue in Jerusalem. We call it the Ramban Synagogue, which is a deformation of a man's name, Naaman. This man's story is edifying. Do you wish to hear?
I would be delighted.
Rabbi Naaman lived in Spain at the end of the 12th century of the Christian era. A Jewish apostate challenged him to prove the superiority of the Jewish faith over all others. After 4 days and 4 nights of verbal sparring, the King of Aragon declared Rabbi Naaman the winner. But this victory gained him many enemies, and the old man had to go into exile. His feet led him to Jerusalem, where only 2 Jews lived at the time, 2 brothers, among 3,000 Jer Tochav Christians and Muslims. With them he built this synagogue and revived the faith of...
What exactly is apostasy?
It is when one abandons one faith, my child, either as a result of personal choice or threat, as happened only a few decades ago for our people living in Spain and Portugal, who had to choose between conversion and exile or death.
What does Jer Toshav mean?
That is what the Jews call the Christians and Muslims as they conform to the 7 laws that the Almighty, blessed be his name, gave to Noah to be passed on to all humanity. But those who do not recognize these precepts, the pagans, we call akums, which mean adorers of the stars and planets. The synagogue is in fact only an external envelope built to protect the holy arch that we call Haran HaKodesh. It in turn covers the parchment rolls on which the Sefer Torah is written, the law of Moses. Here, my friend, 3 times a week and every holy day, the rabbi holds a public reading of the Torah. This is the platform that we call Bima.
See you soon, Rabbi.
See you soon.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations for what?
I saw how you stood up to those superstitious babblings.
Are you following me? Did Ibrahim send you?
Oh, nothing can be hidden from a mind as perceptive as yours.
Are you here to protect me?
Why else? Tell me, what lessons have you learned from your journey today?
Well, I have seen the believer confronting his faith, the Almighty, the one God who is love and forgiveness for all his sons. I have heard him revered by 3 names. I have seen the holy houses that man has built in his name. I have spoken with the guards of his houses, and each one has told me wise and beautiful things for man.
3 voices serving the one and same word. Do you think that one day they will speak as one?
Is that your wish? Indeed, there are some surprising people in Ibrahim's service.
I am above all in God's service. What else have you learned?
I have seen men interpret signs too quickly and find what would serve them even more rapidly.
Superstition follows pride and obeys it as a father.
Is that not a phrase of Socrates? So, my spy is a philosopher also.
Oh, what a terrible word. I prefer guardian angel. What else have you noticed?
I have seen the strength and power that faith gives to a believer.
And what power? Touch the invisible. See that reality is not a matter of appearance. A truth that faith teaches, and which could be a useful principle in all circumstances in our lives. Tell me, has it not happened often that, having searched for something for a long time, you realise it was under your nose from the very beginning?
Very often. What do you think is the blindfold that covers our eyes?
Vanitas vanitatis. All is vanity. I must leave you for now. I hope my paltry disguise has been of some use. Who could guess that even a fruit would contain such flavour?
Adrian, what news?
We are on the right path. The word faith was written in front of the 3 places marked on the map.
So our man is very near.
And he wants to be found.
After a murder and a kidnapping, this man is multiplying the clues leading us to him. What could possibly motivate him to put himself in such danger?
Vanitas, vanitatis.
Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. Why are you quoting Ecclesiastes?
A strange man. I shall tell you. Let us go and find the governor.
So, have you made progress?
Just a few hours after his escape, our fugitive wrote the word faith in front of the 3 places he's indicated on his map. Of course, that led us towards him. But by which path?
Well, let us summarize.
He made us take the path of faith by leading us towards religious places. He should now guide us toward the path of hope.
Hayat works with analogies. What is the common point that we must find this time?
The one God?
Was that not already part of the lesson of the triptych?
Prayer.
And?
Who could guess that even a fruit would contain such flavour?
Where did you find that fruit?
I was given it by the guard your advisor assigned to me.
What? I never did such a thing.
Ibrahim, I told you to let the secretary act.
It seemed that Ibrahim is telling the truth. Then I have been fooled. I have already met the man we are looking for.
What does the message say?
3 like the sides of a triangle, with the revealed word in the center and in the corners, the elected of the patriarchs, the Holy Lamb, and the seal of the prophets. This gives me an idea.